Hello. Let's wait for a few more people to connect. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. Well, today we're going to have Florian from Behind the Mask. He's going to talk a little bit about the experience that they do when they film, a little bit about the company. So feel free to ask any questions. Let's see. Yeah, good evening somewhere. Hello, Florian.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good, and you?
Yeah, as good as you can be in these times,
Yeah,
stranded, topside somewhere.
yeah. I know. I'm anxious to go back in the water and go to Socorro.
How is the situation there? Are you in Mexico right now?
Yeah, I am in Mexico right now. It's getting better. Things are getting open. We're hoping to have a trip on the 8th of July. So the parks are still closed, but we don't know. Like we're hoping that on the 8th of July everything is open and we can go to Socorro. But who knows? With all that is happening, you never know.
So
How about?
up until now, there is no reason to be jealous, to be stranded in, I don't know,
No,
where are you? Where are you right now?
right now in Cabo.
In Cabo. Oh, okay. Not
Yes. Where are you?
not a bad option. I'm in Germany.
In Germany. Okay. Okay. So we have a video from Behind the Mask, one trailer. Do you want me to play it?
Do I have to make the decision? Yeah, of course. Let's play
Yeah.
it.
Let's play it so people have I bet most of the people know it, but for those who don't.
Is there sound?
Yeah. Can you hear it?
No.
No?
Mm-mm.
I can hear it. Can you guys hear the video?
Let me check. Can you hear sound? No. No sound in Germany.
No sound. Hmm. Yeah, because there's sound sign.
Mm-hmm.
Let me know if you can hear now.
No,
No?
not in Germany. No,
Hmm.
but
Anyone
that's
can
okay.
hear?
We can basically just play it in the background and
Yeah.
have a chat on top of it.
What about if you tell us, for those who don't know it, what's behind the mask about?
Oh, this is if I would have an idea. Behind the Mask is about our passion for the ocean. Wait a second, I have like a real bad audio sound from you. Like I basically hear myself talking a lot. Let me check
Okay.
if it's better without. Check.
Yeah.
No, it's still the same. Let me check. Okay. Yeah, I think I hear my sound. Maybe do you have headphones or maybe you can turn down your volume a little bit because I think I hear myself speaking.
Can you hear me better now?
I don't know. Yeah,
No?
yeah, no, I think it's better. Okay.
Now it's better?
Behind the Mask.
Okay.
The question was what Behind the Mask is about. Behind the Mask is basically kind of a, you know, on the one hand, it's super easy to make it look like super big, to be like a production company and things like that, but it's actually not what we are. We are basically just a bunch of guys and girls who enjoy to have one thing in common, which is the passion for the ocean, going out there, filming things. And the goal basically is to spread the passion that we have to as many people as we can. And we mostly do that through videos, like the one that you're seeing there is kind of a collage showreel kind of thing that we did. This is all the footage that we shot during the last 5 years. Yeah, and we have all kinds of different people in our team. We have artists and photographers and videographers and writers and people who don't do anything but are great to be around with. It's kind of an attempt to not lose, the inner child's dream to do stuff that you really like and be connected with other people, and at the same time kind of make a living out of it. But the living is not the priority. The company and, to broaden your horizon, to meet people, new people, and to kind of investigate on interesting story-related, ocean-related stories. That's basically the main goal. And so if you go to our YouTube channel, you find a ton of videos about all different kind of things. And I think what's interesting to mention is maybe that Behind the Mask, the name basically was created because when we started, we were a little bit annoyed. There is a lot of video things out there who, where people just like play some music and then there is some nice footage of fish and stuff like that. But we were always interested in like, where exactly is it? How do I get there? What is the water temperature and what else do I have to know to actually make up my mind? To see if that is maybe something that I can do, or maybe there's a technical side to it, who makes it difficult to dive in these kind of places, and what it's about. So it's kind of like coming from the behind the scenes terminology, I would say.
Yeah, and I can say that your YouTube videos had helped me a lot through the filmmaking. So if anyone having problem with red filters, lighting, strobes, weights, go to Behind the Mask and they will help you.
That's Vanessa. Like she's
the
she's the tutorial expert. And
hey
Vanessa, if you're seeing us here, then I hope she's working on something new at the moment.
So you came to Socorro in 2018, is that right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
I think there was a trip that we still remember, because I think we're the only guys who actually made an afternoon trip to Socorro. We basically got there, had one afternoon in the water, and then we went back. That was quite something.
Whoa.
There was a kind of hurricane announced or something. We thought maybe we can get away with it. We went out there. We had one dive at the boiler, and then we turned around. Another 36 hours, I think, back. And then we went to the Sea of Cortez and had fun with the sea lions. That was quite cool. But yeah. And anyhow, I mean, even if it was only like 45 1-hour dive in Socorro, it was still pretty cool.
But did you come back later?
No, we couldn't manage to do the same thing again. We still hope to be able to do that, but I don't know. At that time, in 2018, we had all of our schedules and things planned out for at least 1.5 years in advance. So we are not really flexible on things, unfortunately. So yeah, we have to go back. That's for sure.
Yeah, you have to come back. So because I know you guys have 3 videos, Manta Romance, the dolphins, and then another one, right?
You mean about that trip?
Yeah, about Socorro.
About Socorro? Yeah, no. I mean, we went to Socorro before that.
Okay. I was like, so how do you manage to make the 3 videos in one trip, in 1 hour?
No, actually, there's one little video about the mandas, which was only a technical experiment to kind of show what it is like to film 8K raw in these conditions. So that is Manta Romans. There was one thing, but I think we did another one after that because we got kind of stranded in La Paz. And we went to Sea of Cortez before that. So we did another one about the sea lions there. We did another one with the mobilers, and we did one which is called Baja California or something like that. So we did make like, I think 4 videos on that trip still.
Yeah, amazing, amazing. And you did some free diving as well, right? You did some filmmaking.
Yeah, not
Free
really.
diving.
I mean, I'm really not a good freediver, but we have guys in the team. Dada is our freediving expert. She has all the fun. You know, she's going and doing whatever she wants to, and we have to make sure we can film stuff. But this is also, I think, something that is very important for the things that we're doing, is that even though we're not in the water all the time, a lot of positive and great things that actually make your time out on the ocean, around the ocean, is not underwater, you know. So to go to a place like Baja California, you have like to bring the feeling to the people, and to, you know, to have like an emotional side to it. There's a lot more to be filmed and shown than only be in the water. Of course, being in the water is, yeah, this is the main thing. But to go with the Jeep into the desert, or to hang out in the sand dunes, you know, this is like the whole area is amazing. You know, the vibe is amazing. I haven't seen so many marine biologists in one place than in La Paz, for example. And so yeah, there's a lot of things that go on. And for us, it's very important to actually talk about the whole thing, not only about you know, take everything out of context and then show some nice footage of underwater scenes. It's actually the feeling that you have when you know, go out with the boat in the morning and it's still misty and cold and whatever. It's all part of it.
Yeah, and the people. And that's what I like about your videos, because you kind of tell the whole experience of Socorro. It's not only the diving, but it's the boats, the crew, like everything, the landscapes and the sunsets, they're just amazing. So it's, besides coming to Socorro and seeing the mantis dolphin, which is like amazing as well, it's like you have the whole package, right? It's not only inside the water, but outside the water that you have a great time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I think the first time we went there was like 6 years ago or something. We made a whole series about Socorro Islands. Like, I think we had the boiler there, we had the dolphins there, we had like I think it's like four parts or something. It's, I don't know, 45 minutes altogether. So
how many times have you come to Socorro?
3 times, I think.
3 times?
Maybe 3.5 times if you count the last day trip, not as a proper trip.
What can you tell to the people that haven't been to Socorro? Like, what's the experience, what's the feelings, emotions?
Well, I think in terms of what you expect and the reliability of things, you know, you always, I don't know, you know, I think when we go somewhere, there is always kind of a risk to things. The risk that you don't get what you expect to get. And you have to be very open most of the time, to be flexible, and to, you know, to appreciate whatever you see. You know, if we have, I know, I remember we went to Scotland one year and we wanted to film basking sharks, and we didn't see a single basking shark. So you have to make something out of it. And, you know, and Socorro is probably one of the most reliable places where you can pretty much predict what is going to happen. And what is normal there is already a highlight thing. You're definitely going to have amazing interactions with, you know, the big mantas. This is amazing. You're definitely going to see some dolphins most of the time. And if there is even dolphin interaction going on, or, you know, then if you're lucky and you'll have great weather, and you can even go to Roca Partida, and you can, I don't know, maybe even a whale swims by. I mean, this is, yeah, I think it's probably one of the trips that you can easily recommend for anyone who is up for this kind of level of diving, to be definitely not disappointed going out there. I could also, you know, talk about the professional organization around it and stuff like that, but that would sound like advertising. It's just a great trip to go. And it's, you know, definitely a good place to get interaction with, you know, impressing big pelagic underwater wildlife. That's for sure.
And what about on the filmmaking side, part of Socorro? Is it hard to film? Do you go there with like a specific goal, or you just like get into the water and then you decide you're gonna do a film about this or this, or it's just kind of you already have something in mind when you get there?
Yeah, I mean, we never plan anything. That's,
Okay.
you know, we get that question many times because people think always like, you know, if you plan, because it's more like a story. Sometimes it's like
Yeah.
short films where there's actually kind of a story about it. There is a rough idea always in the beginning. And the way it works is basically like how you can see it as like a sandbox where you put things inside. In our case, this is like people that you bring and equipment that you bring and locations and the time of the year and, you know, migration route of animals and things like that. So you kind of know that you have some sort of framework that you might be able to work with. But everything is, we never make storyboards. We never, even if we do things for clients, we never commit to anything, because this is also like the worst thing that can happen is if you're in a place like Socorro and then you're chasing things that are very hard to get just to satisfy some sort of storyboard. And then you miss like all the inspiring, nice moments that are around you. And I think it's kind of a question how you have your mindset in place to actually be flexible enough and able to change your plans anytime. For us, we have a pretty, how do you say, well-practiced procedure for that. Like we basically just take whatever comes our way, and then we sit together in the evening and we look at things. So we do most of the post-production of our videos already when we're on the boat, and the whole team, and sometimes when there are even other guests on the boat, we sit together, we look at things. I remember the first trip we did, I think I made 4 or 5 videos about the crew, because we felt that the crew is doing an amazing job, you know, and they never appear in any kind of video. You know, I think we even made an episode starting like 2 minutes only about how the guy is cooking the cupcakes in the morning, you know, and the announcement of the captain and stuff like that.
Yeah, I love
So,
that part.
yeah, exactly. So we review everything, and then we try to go kind of back to the same opportunities that we had before, and then squeeze a little bit more out of it. For example, when Dada is on the trip and we do like the free diving setup kind of thing, or Nick Linder was there as a freediving champion.
Yeah.
You know, a pretty cool guy. And to get in kind of a flow and review things together and integrate everyone into the creative process. This is kind of the key for everything. If you just go there as an island, you know, by yourself, trying to figure something out and do something, it's not a good idea. There's always people like more brains, more eyes, more people with more abilities. They can bring things together. And then when you see that in the evening and you kind of, we even play some music and make some clips and do things, and then you can go back and you can work on something else. You can also forget about stuff that didn't work at all and you don't like. And even if you have like a great idea before you leave and then you try something, it just doesn't work. Or you forgot some crucial part of the equipment that doesn't work. You know, you have to always be super flexible with.
You're already in the water and you forget to put some cable or something and you have to go back in.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
that luckily never happened
Never happened to you.
so far.
Whoa.
Oh, no, there was a lot of stuff happening. I filmed amazing things that were black when I came back.
Okay.
Like, you know, like when like for example, when you are on the wrong rhythm, like you think you press record, but you actually stop the recording. And then if you film underwater, you know that. And then you have amazing footage, which is always very shaky. And then it's coming to a place where you can see the whale. And then it stops. Because this is the moment where you're actually supposed to hit record, but you stop the recording.
The recording.
Yeah, this can happen sometimes. Sometimes also the camera gear is playing tricks, you know, just like...
Yeah,
I remember when
you're shooting underwater. It's not easy.
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of things happening, and also, you know, there's small things that you can easily lose on the boat, and if you don't have a replacement for that, you can't really go diving anymore. For example, there's like a vacuum
System.
little thing on it where you have a cap that you screw on it, and if you lose that cap, which is basically 50 cents to get it, if you lose that, you're not going to be able to go diving anymore, because if you push that button underwater, then the water will be sucked into the housing and stuff like that. So there's a lot of things that can happen in warmer environments. You know,
Yeah.
if you leave the camera on while you have a surface in the wall, and then all of a sudden everything is fogged up and stuff like that, you know, stuff that you will never tell anyone because it makes you look like a dummy. But happens.
Yeah, but there's so many things that you have to think about it besides all the camera equipment, like, you know, all your equipment and what you have to put on, and then you have to worry about the camera. And so, you know, these things are going to happen. They're not supposed to happen when you're a professional, but I guess I'm glad to hear that they still happen to you, because they happen to me sometimes. So it's good to feel that even to you it
it's
happens.
Always, no matter what happens, it's always just a matter how you deal with it.
Yeah.
You know. Hey, are we like checking out the people's question down here? What is his?
Yeah, I was gonna. We have one question. Then it says, "When and where your next diving trip?"
Yeah, that is a good question. Like the plan right now is that we will be the next actually diving. I think we're gonna do a pool dive in Milano, maybe with a fin and underwater gear manufacturer. That's going to be super exciting, but that's only for half an hour probably. No, I think seriously, the next trip that we're going to do is we're going to go from Nice to Corsica in the Mediterranean with our friend Greg Lecoeur. He's a National Geographic photographer and a very good friend, and he lives in Nice. And so we decided we just have to get out into the blue. And now in Europe, the borders internally are open, and we don't know how long. Like, have kind of a feeling that we have to make use of the freedom that we have right now and do something, because we might have another, you know, restriction thing coming up. And then we go to the Azores in the middle of July, right after that, for 3 weeks. We also have some guests and friends there, and we decided to dedicate that trip as kind of a behind the mask family reunion thing, because we miss. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I really, for me, this is really a big lesson. Like, I can appreciate a lot of things much more than I before. I still hear myself complaining about long distance flights and jet lags and stuff like that. And you know, I think this is kind of recalibrating everyone. You know, and so yeah, we're missing everyone. Hamdan is stuck in Bangladesh. Peter was almost stuck in French Polynesia. Dada is stuck here. She's still stuck here. She's from China. She was supposed to go back at the end of January after the boat show, and she's still stuck here. We have like 4 or 5 times the flights get canceled, and then one time she can't go there because the situation in China is very bad. Then she can't leave because the situation in Germany is very bad, and the Chinese don't accept flights from Germany. It's a nightmare. So we are really ready to go out there and do something.
Yeah.
So yeah, DSOs is basically the next big thing.
Amazing. We have another question. Can people join on your trips?
Yeah, that was never supposed to be, because we never thought that we would be actually able to offer something like this. So the last few years, we've been working hard to talk to our clients and collaborators to get good conditions, you know, like to have free spots that we can give away on social media. So some of our team members, we basically just met because they won a trip with us, and they got stuck with us ever since. And now, since the end of last year, we actually have kind of a travel guy in our team, Marcel. He is working hard to help people to basically fill the spots on the projects that we're going on. Like, sometimes if we have clients who basically run liverboard trips or something like this, there's always other people on the boat sometimes. And these spots we can give away to people. There's a behind the mask open slots on behind the mask trips Facebook group, and I think we have, I don't know, I think we have like around 2,000 people there who are waiting to get one of those trips. And in the meantime, we also have dedicated trips like 2 or 3 times a year before the crisis, there was the plan. Right now, we have an experience plan for Tonga that got cancelled. We have the Sardine run that been cancelled. So DSOs are still a go. So if you join that group, then you find opportunities and all the communication around it. And the thing with us is that you can't really just book it. We are not you know, a traditional travel, I don't know, agency or something like this. What we like to do, because we have a little bit of a challenge here. The people, they see the videos that we make, and if they go on a trip with us, they expect something like that. You know, for example, we went to Norway last year or the year before, and we really had the time of our life. We made a video, you know, it went through the roof, and we still get at least 15 inquiries every day of people. I think the video that we made about this trip on YouTube, I don't know, has like, I don't know, 200,000 views. And most of the people, they actually write us and ask us when is it possible to have this kind of experience. And we're not going to do that again, because we cannot give this experience to the people, and we don't want to make any kind of, you know, business thing out of it and basically screw the people over. So the people that we take on the trips that we go, or the people who are then able to book something there, they really need to understand that there is nothing guaranteed. I mean, what we do most of the time is a little bit, you know, new things for us as well. And we have the framework ready. This is great, but we can't we can't guarantee anything. If we do a trip to the basking sharks, we might we're ending up with seals, and on the other side of the island, you know, we don't know, and we don't want to overpromise anything. So for us, it's very important to have like a group that fits together well and has a great time together, even though the weather is shitty for the whole time. So we're not making a business much out of this.
Do you do like a kind of workshop, or it's just kind of, oh, you come along with us and you enjoy the trip, but it's not kind of like a workshop of photography or something?
Well, I don't really believe in the concept of workshops to be something that I would like to do, because I don't really feel that it is great to have, I don't know, 10 people on a boat and then you stand there in the evening and you talk about something. I don't really think that this is a great benefit if I would be on the other side as well. So for us, being on a trip with us is kind of a workshop, because we open up everything and we integrate everyone. So we basically do things together. You know, like if you are a filmmaker and you happen to be on a trip with us, then you might up ending, you know, to getting the big red cinema camera in your hand for like 2 days, and you have never even touched anything like that before, just, you know, just because we want to tease you a little bit. And then when we sit together and do things, then we ask for your opinion. And when you have any kind of cool footage on your camera, then we might be able to use it, and you can sit there all night long, see us editing the things and ask your questions and do stuff. And I think this is much more valuable than to have some sort of manual that you give out and you talk about things. Like if you want to know how white balance works, then you just listen to Vanessa. She made a 6-minute episode about that. This is not, I don't know. You know, when I was working in the advertising industry, I was always complaining that nobody understands my art. You know, this is what it is. You do something, you think you did something great, and then the client idiot, you know, decides he wants to have something else or wanted to have different. You make a big compromise, and at the end, as a creative person, you get to believe that the more money and the more business is involved, the less creative everything is. And you find out that the things that you actually spend your own money on are the projects that, you know, are the most beneficial to yourself and to your own creativity. So we try to set up everything that we do, not to, you know, achieve a certain thing, but to get everyone into the same vibe and to, you know, be able to share everything with everyone and to create something together. And this is creating kind of the behind the mask community. And I have the feeling that a lot of people feel that, even if they are not personally, you know, met with us before, And so when we go on a trip, it always feels that we go on a trip with old friends. And so that is what also we enjoy and makes our time worthwhile.
I think that's
Say
what
hello to
you're.
Hamdan. There's someone is greeting Hamdan. Maybe they say hi to Hamdan from Jill. Yeah, of course.
We
We
have
miss
another
Hamdan so
question
much.
that says, "Where are you from?"
You mean behind the mask or myself?
I think they mean yourself.
Myself, I've been told many times that I can't really hide where I'm from because of the way I speak English. German, imperfect German, funny accent English. Yeah, I'm a Swabian guy from South Germany. That's where I am right now. Yeah, which is also I think pretty cool because I remember 7 years ago, before Behind the Mask, there was a friend of mine asking me, "Hey, do you think you can actually professionally work in this kind of industry?" And I said, "No, never. We don't have an ocean that is worth diving in here in Germany, and there's a million other people around the globe that have perfect condition in their backyard. And no, I'll be happy if I get to do that once in a while." And here we are, like already
We
getting a little bit
actually have a
hours.
question related to that. And Jen asks, "Have you always wanted to be an underwater cinematographer?"
Sorry, I was reading a question. I can you say it again?
Yeah. Have you always wanted to be an underwater cinematographer? That's one question.
Yeah, yeah. I was fascinated by all the documentaries that I saw. People going on expeditions. That was always, I was super fascinated about the things that actually happened behind the camera. I was always more interested in seeing the making of things than the actual piece.
Oh.
So when there's like the Blue Planet things, and then you get to Planet Earth, they had like I think a whole episode about how the things are actually done. This is my favorite.
Yeah.
And then I don't know, it's kind of like automatically, you develop your things and you have to get some experience and stuff, and then you go into a certain direction. And then I actually missed the point where I realized that I actually arrive there. Because I remember when we went to Antarctica and we came back, I realized, yeah, if I would have seen somebody doing that the way we did that, I would think, wow, I want to do that one day. And when we were there, it was pretty difficult. And I didn't really have the opportunity, or had the opportunity, to really appreciate that I'm in this position, because we're always stressed about -1 degree water, and we have to sail and turn around, and everything is like a huge shit show maybe one day. And then, so yeah, I always wanted to do something like that. I always wanted to be able to freely decide where to spend and how to spend my time doing something that I have the feeling I personally benefit from. And this is what I'm doing. This is, yeah, so yes.
We have another question. Are you planning any trips around the Andaman Nicobar Island?
No.
No.
I mean, if we get a little bit more information about that, and if we get a little bit more ideas, what kind of story is there to be told, then maybe yes. We have a long list of things that we want to do one day, and the Andaman Sea, Nicobar Islands are not on it. Maybe that's a mistake. So if there's anyone out there who asks their questions, can tell me why he think we should go there, then let me know, and maybe we can get something. Maybe we can do something.
We have a question from Anja. I think I pronounced it okay. You have some ideas for me where I can start filming whales? Where is a good place to have the first whale experience? I can say Tonga, personally.
Yeah, but that's not really a fair recommendation, because Tonga is a million light years away and super expensive to get to and to do that. It depends what kind of experience you want to have with the whales. We also are probably not the whale experts that really. We also don't have any scientific background or anything. But I think to be in the water with whales, I mean, diving with whales is very restricted everywhere. Being in the water with whales, snorkeling, I think Argentina is a good place. I think, yeah, Tonga is definitely a good place. I think Sri Lanka could be a good place, although there's probably a lot of pressure. And I think Mexico is probably a very good place.
But you're not allowed to go inside the water with the whales in Mexico.
You're not allowed to do that.
No,
No.
only it's an amazing place if you wanna like shoot them from a boat. Like you have like on seasons whale, you have I don't know 10 whales a day that you can be seeing, but you cannot go inside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it's about the whales, then I think also topside is a huge thing to do. Also, to be in the water with whales is most of the time like, don't be tricked by the things that you see on social media. It looks like, you know, you swipe down your Instagram and you see a lot of inspiring photos with whales and things. This is always once in a lifetime opportunity shots. Like this is what comes out of the internet because everyone is connected. This is not something that you can rely on will happen to you if you go anywhere. You know, I mean, you know, blue whales or most species of whales, they're not there to really socialize with you. They're not, you know, they're gonna hang out on the surface and then they're gonna be gone for a long time, and you will be very easily frustrated about things like that. So if you go to South Africa, to the Sardine Run, which is already a very risky thing to do because you can happen to see nothing, you can happen to see everything that, you know, the BBC ever filmed in one day. You can, you know, if you are up for these kind of things and you take the risk and you're okay with whatever happens, then also the Sardine Run is very good for whales. Then you can also see a lot of good whale encounters there.
Well, I think that's with wildlife. Like, you know, it's wildlife. You cannot just predict what's gonna
Yeah,
happen.
but
So
there's definitely more reliable species. Like if you talk about sharks or if you talk about reef sceneries and things like that, you can be satisfied, I think, more likely than if you say like, okay, let's go to Roca Partida because I've seen a video of a guy diving with a mother and a calf of a humpback.
yeah, that's lucky. That's lucky. But if you go to Tonga, you have like almost
Yes,
I don't know
definitely.
99%. Yeah.
No, I mean Tonga is very reliable, but that's
Yeah.
also kind of
Far.
difficult to really recommend because it is very far and very
Yeah.
expensive.
Yeah,
And
that's
you
true.
know, you always have to be careful. The people ask you questions, and you go like, "Yes, very easy. You just invest like 5,000 US and fly half around the globe,
Yeah.
and then you can do that." And might also not be a very satisfying answer.
All right. We have another question. Have you ever done some diving in the Netherlands?
In the Netherlands, no.
No.
Right now, I wouldn't. Like it doesn't cross my mind why I would do that. I mean, I really have a hard time to actually find a good place to go diving in Germany. I know I shouldn't say that too loud, but since we're stuck here and we have some sort of project that we wanted to do, it was quite difficult to actually find a place where you can go diving. I think it's also depends on the definition of diving. I'm not, you know, I'm not a diver that who needs to go diving to feel weightless and to, you know, lose myself in the surrounding. I'm really sorry. I'm a very practical guy. I have a camera. If I don't have a camera, I'm probably not going to dive because I hope I'm not going to see anything that I can't film because I don't have a camera. So I'd rather stay out of the water. I know it's really, really bad attitude, but I don't want to lie to you. It's and it's difficult. You know, for me, visibility is very important.
Yeah.
And I'm not quite sure where that would be in the Netherlands. But on the other hand, if someone has an idea, these days, go local, it would be amazing. Netherlands is not far
Yeah.
from here. So if there's anything to see there, it would be amazing.
We have another question. Your videos are great. Did you choose the music before the video or
Always,
after you start? Yeah.
always. Everything starts with the music. Probably the music is probably something that is figured out long before. Like, for example, the video about the Sardine Run. I didn't plan on making the video about the Sardine Run at all because we wanted to make like a huge documentary out of it, and we were just planning to go back another few times and collect more footage. But I remember I was vacuuming the apartment, and there was a song playing from our favorite lists on Music Band. This is the platform that we use for the music. And I hear that one song, and I know immediately I have to do this with the Sardine Run footage So that's the reason why we actually did that. And yes, always. The music is always first, because the music is the one thing that reliably sets an emotional tone, and nothing else is reliable before you go anywhere. But the music you can already take. It's most of the time not only one song, but there's a couple of songs. We've been digging through all the platforms that we have memberships on. We do a lot of music bed things. I know it's very pricey, but it's actually quality music. And there's also music with lyrics. And music with lyrics makes a big difference, because you have a story that you already have. Like, you have lyrics, and you can interpret the lyrics in a different way. It's amazing how many different kind of videos you can make with one song, and you have a completely different feeling because of the combination of pictures and music. And so, of course, there is some ideas what music we can use, and there's also a variety of things that we bring. But before editing something, I mean, for me, the music is the most important thing. This is where the fantasy and, you know, the kind of inspiration comes from. And because you can choose that, you know, you can say, okay, this is, for example, the film about the Azores with Fred Boyle is called "Carry Me Home." It's a beautiful song, and it just is made to be combined with this kind of imagery. And this is, yeah, so this is the most fun, to have the music coming visually alive with the things that you shoot and produce. Absolutely.
So which websites do you use for music?
Musicbed.com.
Okay.
That is one. There is a membership, it depends. If it's your job, like if you do that professionally, that's fine. You also have to be a little bit careful, because if you do videos for clients, the licensing fee is depending on the client and how big the client is.
Okay.
You know, like if the client has 1,000 employees, you're not going to be able to license something for the same price. Then you do that for behind the mask, because we basically don't have any employees, and so we can do that basically for the community and for us. It still is a bit pricey, but it's still manageable. And then Audio Jungle is something, Epidemic Sound. I think there is a lot of different platforms out there. The problem is that 99% is not suitable for what you want to do, and you just have to invest a lot of time to go through everything and make lists. And you hear something that you like, and you think, that would fit to something like this. Keep it, put it in a list, favorite, you know, put it as a favorite or something like that, and then download all the previews and manage all that in iTunes or wherever, so that you have options. Because if you sit there with the footage and then you say like, okay, now I need the music for that, you start the project being frustrated. That's not a good idea.
Okay. We have a question from Daniel. What did you study?
I studied communication design with a focus on filmmaking, and I made a master degree in European art, which sounds pretty cool. It's basically the same thing. It's just, and I never, I have to say, I never really benefit much from what I studied. So if I wouldn't have studied, it wouldn't make a difference. Everything that I am able to do now, and all the understanding of the professional world that I have for myself, that seems to work for myself, came from practical experience. I remember I had 1.5 years off from university completely to go out and shoot a documentary about the civil war in Burma. That was really beneficial, to do that and to go through everything without the pressure of delivering something to a client. That's where studying is actually very beneficial. But to sit there, I have a lot of friends studying there. They've been sitting there. They've been just like taking everything that's been served to them. They've been very engaged in everything. But after that, they really had no clue what they actually wanted to do with that. So I think it doesn't matter. Nobody asked me for a degree after that. Nobody's, you know, I think being a student is great, because you have great flexibility and a great freedom to make your own decisions and to fail without anyone pointing the finger on you. And that's what it's usable for. But just to have a degree in this kind of industry, or, you know, as a filmmaker and stuff like that, nobody's going to, unless you're like a professional director and you need to, you know, and then you work like 4 years on a film, and if it's great, then it's great, and if it's not great, then you're depressed for the rest of your life because you basically lost 4 years of your time. You know, that's also a reason why we try to make short films. You know, you can screw up badly, it doesn't matter.
But it's only
Because the
4
next time you
minutes.
just make it better. Yeah, and you don't have to ask like tons of friends for favors and get the money from your parents to be able to shoot the one amazing documentary you always wanted to show, and then after that nobody is interested in that, and then you feel like the world is unfair to me. So smaller steps, shorter things, especially now, you know, all the social media things, everything needs to be different, everything needs to be shorter, everything needs to be if I started a project 4 years ago still working on it, today I would basically completely fail with this. So small steps, be able to improve yourself is probably good way to do
And someone wants to know where you get your cap with the sticker of PHM.
We do a lot of gadgets for ourselves. We really like to be organized, and you know, we make T-shirts with our names on it. But the name is on the inside of the shirt, so that the people, when they're on the trip and they wash it, then they know this is Hamdan's flower shirt, and people have their, you know, the shirts. We're not really into merchandising things much. We get a lot of requests about shirts and caps and stuff like that, and we're never able to satisfy that. The caps and the shirts that we have are produced by a company that is owned by a friend. It's a project in India to help women who have basically dropped out of society because of, you know, forced prostitution and things like that, to come back into society, to do something, to learn something, and to be able to sustain themselves. That's why a shirt costs like $40. So if we put that on the internet, people go like, what do you want $40 for a T-shirt? It's, you know, it's give and take and trying to have a positive impact on things. And it's not about pushing things out into the market that people, you know, buy and represent things. Everybody who goes on the trip with us gets a T-shirt for free. And yeah, we produce these caps in small amounts.
We have another question. Do you hire new divers or IT people?
If we hire people to come with us?
Like new divers or IT people? I don't know what
What is IT?
IT?
IT people? We collaborate with people, mostly with people who are part of the story. Like, we are really up to meeting new people everywhere around the world to see what they're up to, you know, if they do something that we feel is inspiring. But I don't think that's the question. The question is probably if there is a chance to basically, you know, have an intern or to come with us or to do something. This is difficult. This is always a conflict we have, because obviously we believe that everybody out there filming things underwater is already kind of an ocean ambassador, you know. So we want to help everyone, and that's why we try to answer all the kind of emails. We had a big campaign during the world's largest water sports show in Germany, the boat show, which is all about the community, all about, we made a video with the footage that was only sent to us, you know, to kind of represent and to give this community an identity. But we cannot, and this is really sad, we can really not offer this kind of opportunities because we have a network of people and a team that is quite big already. And we always struggle to bring, you know, people on the trip, because if we sell these kind of things, we would be able to kind of manage it. But we basically take the things that we get from the jobs that we do and invest it into the option, or to the possibility for more team members to join. Like, we really go for the you know, for the experience that we have. And in this concept, we can't really hire anyone to do something that we already have 5 members that want to do that as well, and that, you know, it's kind of difficult. So we always try to bring new people and give them a chance, but mostly they have to book themselves in or get in contact with us. We have to have a good feeling. And it doesn't matter if you're a professional guy, it doesn't matter what color, what age, what gender, it doesn't matter. It's basically just, you know, we like Martha, for example. Martha basically won a trip with us to the Bahamas, and ever since she's stuck with us. And now she's not stuck with us anymore because she's pregnant and she's stuck now somewhere else in her life. So it's also good. But yeah, there is opportunities if you follow everything and engage a little bit with what we're doing and see what's going, and if there's kind of the same wavelength of things. Because I mean, probably most of the people, they know how it is. You go on a dive trip that you just book yourself in, and then all of a sudden you feel like that group is not very, how do you say, in harmony, maybe. You know, you can't, it's okay. You know, everybody is going for their own experience somehow. There is probably a huge mix of different people from all over the world, different beliefs, different ways of doing things. You see people diving in a very unresponsible way, maybe, whatever, you know. We try to avoid that. We try to not focus on, you know, what we actually do. We try to focus on how we do it and how we bring the people together. And that might also annoy a few people because they think, I don't know, we think, why are we doing this? You know, it's never personal. It's always just to have a group in harmony to do something. So the best way to actually come with us is through the group. Then there's options and informations.
Okay. We have another question. Which lens you prefer for the occurrence strip? Nautica CMC and WWL, or better to go with the 12 to 35 and 7 to 14 millimeters on my Lumix G9?
Yeah, I saw that. I think this is from Apex.
Yes.
Yeah, this is Manuel. I think, Manuel, I'll call you later, or let's talk tomorrow, because this is probably a very specific question that we shouldn't answer here. In general, the best gear to bring is the gear that you already own. You know, then you have peace of mind. And in the end, it's not really about the technology that you use. It's about what you film and how you make it. You know, everybody knows, I don't know, like how many years ago when I was a kid, I was watching black and white television things and like that big, and I was totally fascinated. And today we have 4K, 8K, 16K things, and sometimes the story and the emotion in it is lacking. So what did we win? Nothing. So it's not about the camera or anything. It's just about what you have here and what you want to make out of it. So don't make yourself poor buying gear.
So let's do one last question because we're running out of time. Is that okay?
Sorry?
Should we do one last question because we are running out of time?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
anytime. There's someone asking
cuts.
if I can come back for another interview. I don't know. I don't do live things usually because I don't think at these times where we face like really a lot of people struggle around the world, I don't really think I have something relevant to add to that. That's also why we kind of stopped all of our social media activities and try to focus on ourselves a little bit, which is way overdue, like 5 years of nonstop running around and doing things. It's actually a good time to be more quiet. So Rachel asked me for this, and because I can't say no to Rachel, then I said, okay, if somebody's interested in what we're doing here, it's fine. But yeah, we are not going to do that on our own social media probably anytime soon. But if we have anything more to talk about, we can set up something else here again. I'm up for that. But that was not your question. That was the question that I was reading down here.
Yeah, well, we have one. I think you already talked about it, but maybe she came in later, so maybe you can talk about it a little bit more. How can we have the opportunity to join you, I guess?
Yeah, well, there is a Facebook group called Open Spots on Behind the Mask Trips. If you apply there, there is 2 questions you have to answer. If you don't answer the questions, don't complain that you're not glad to be in, the group, because there's a lot of people who just apply to groups. And so you have to answer the question and prove that you're a real person. And then you're in there, and then you're basically up to speed with everyone else. Then we might ask you guys, give you options. Where do you want to go? We have this kind of option. We have a project there. Should we make something out of it? Should we, enable more people to come or not? It's totally unprofessional. Even though Marcel is handling a lot of things, he's also doing travel informations and helping people to get to the right place. But this doesn't mean that we're going to be there. If you want to be on a project or somewhere else, then just join the group and see what's going on there.
Okay. Thank you so much, Florian, for all of this. It's amazing.
Oh, my pleasure.
Yeah.
I don't know, was it an hour?
Yeah, 54 minutes. If not, Instagram goes like this, and we are like, hey, and then just stops. Yeah. So I like to finish a little bit early for that.
Yeah,
Thank
nice
you so
talking to you.
much. Yeah, same. And hope we can have another of these interviews because I feel like you have a lot to teach and say. And yeah, it's amazing.
Oh, if you say that, I'll go for that. Just let
Thank
me know.
you. Yeah, for
Okay.
sure.
Have a good weekend, everyone.
Bye. Bye, everyone.
Bye.